James Rizzi was an American artist. He was best known for his pop art prints. Now, I say pop art because he was making things that were bright and bold and colorful and cartoonish and whimsical in the pop art style, but his work also sort of would pop off the page. He was known for using a technique of silk screening or screen printing and then hand coloring on those prints, and he used cutouts of foam shapes to make three-dimensional embellishments, giving it a little bit of the quality of almost like a relief sculpture or a diorama on his prints. Now, when we think about the subject matter and the style, he is best known for his anthropomorphic cityscapes. When I say anthropomorphic, I'm talking about giving human characteristics to something that's not human. Rizzi would make his landscapes and his cityscapes expressive. He would show moods and feelings. He would give facial features to those buildings and the sun and the sky and any other elements within his composition. Now, one final cool thing I want to include when we talk about Rizzi, he was not just making works on paper, although he is best known for his prints. Some of his fun, whimsical, imaginative designs actually have been brought out into the real world. There are happy Rizzi houses that have that wonderful, imaginative, sort of cartoonish touch brought to life in the real world. Now, for this project, what you're going to do is use Sketchbook to make a Rizzi-style cityscape in the real world. You're going to first use Safari to look for a cityscape or a landscape, some sort of a photograph of the real world. Tap and hold the image to save it to photos, and then you're going to bring it into Sketchbook. When you open up Sketchbook, you go to the top toolbar, the mountains with the plus sign lets you bring in a photo. I always create a separate layer above my photo that I'm going to use for drawing. And when I'm working with my photo, I will often tap the photo layer and lower the opacity so that the photograph looks a little bit faded. It makes it easier for me to see what I'm drawing. But I really want to emphasize I'm drawing on a separate layer. I always draw on a separate layer above my photograph. Now, when I'm going to use the fill bucket to color in my picture, I always try to sketch using the pen tool. You can create different thicknesses of lines, but you need to make sure you have closed shapes before you fill something in with the fill bucket. And then you are going to draw whatever cartoonish elements you would like to give it a little bit of personality, to anthropomorphize the different elements within your cityscape or landscape or whatever picture you have chosen. What I want you to do is bring a little bit of that cartoon spirit into the real world. I want you to add cartoonish embellishments into that photograph, making an expressive composition, and try to show a range of different moods and feelings. Think about how might the sun look? What would the sun feel like? And think about what would a cloud be like? What would a cloud's personality be? Is it going to be happy? Is it going to be angry? Is it going to be yelling at us? I feel like the clouds are always kind of yelling at me for forgetting my coat. So what I want you to do is have fun with it, be creative, be imaginative, be innovative, but add different cartoonish elements to your picture. And what I want you to do is take your time to create fun, cartoonish, sort of whimsical elements, but show a range of moods and emotions in there. I would also recommend every element you draw should go on its own separate layer. I made the cloud one layer. I made the sun a separate layer. I want those different elements to be different layers so that I can move them if I want to. I can resize them. I can get the scale and proportions just right. And then when I'm finished, I go to the top toolbar on the left-hand side. It looks like 3 bullet points. I'm going to save my image. So you're going to go to Save, Flatten Image, and Save to Photos.